Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We certainly did a lot of discovery during that time, lots of critical information that's led us to today. But I want to ask our witnesses today, the issue is, how do we catch up? You know, we are way behind the Chinese, especially with critical supply chains as it relates to not only rare earth, but critical minerals. How long do you think it'll take the United States to build back supply chains to make sure they're fully capable of supplying all of the demands in the U.S. marketplace? And what role could efforts like price supports play in buttressing that market to make sure, as Ranking Member Christian Amorthe pointed out, that the costs don't drop below the cost of production? We kind of create a price floor there. We aggregate demand. We make sure that we are producing to the U.S. demand and making sure that we produce with a guarantee that the floor never drops below the cost of production, which kind of acts as an insurance policy. So I want to get your perspective on how you think that would play in helping the marketplace and making sure, too, the demand signal is sent and investments take place as they should in those areas. Mr. Roundtree, we'll begin with you, and then we'll go to Mr. Schlasser and Mr. Evans.
Yeah, I think for Niron, for us, we need the capital to help get to scale. At scale, we don't necessarily need the price support. What would help us is offtake agreements, right? And we are scaling up our technology as quickly as possible to get to that 10,000 ton where we can really move the needle on magnet supply. But we're going to need all of the above solutions to really accelerate out of this challenge. At Niron, we have 1,500 tons of capacity coming online starting in 2027. And we're working with the administration to see how quickly we can bring on a 10,000 ton factory, targeting to try and have that coming online by sometime around 2029.
That's great. Matt?
Before I look forward, I want to look back because I think it's relevant here. In 2017, the founder of our company, James Lutinsky, he acquired Mountain Pass when it had 8 people and was in care and maintenance under the supervision of a federal judge. There was no accounting system, no corporate infrastructure, literally 8 people. The U.S. had 0 mining, 0 refining, and 0 magnet manufacturing. Today, we have the second largest rare earth mine on Earth right now in the state of California. We have the largest rare earth refinery in the Western Hemisphere, again at Mountain Pass. We have metal production online and on a commercial basis, and we're getting ready to do full-scale magnet production. And we've come that far in 8 years with very little air support for the core central issue identified by this committee, which is predatory pricing. Right. So now that we have significant resolve and that issue, in our case, has been effectively taken off the table, we can move much more quickly. The key missing link in the supply chain today is both increasing domestic magnet manufacturing capacity, which we're on pace to get to 10,000 tons by 2028, and certain heavy rare earths, which are essential in small quantities to the production of those magnets, which we're working on via our public-private partnership. So I do think, now that this issue is well understood and there's a lot of resolve, we are a lot further today than we were 3 years ago, and I think 3 years from now we'll be even further.
That's great. Thanks. Jonathan?
I think price discovery is very important. At the end of the day, what's happening here should be an obvious solution for public capital or private capital actually finance this. But what we've seen here, and lithium is no different than rare earths, is that economics and the science of economics is being bent to China's will. That has dissuaded private capital coming off the sidelines. I think putting in, as we mentioned, as the report actually recommends, price discovery to help redefine and take over the narrative is going to help. On top of that, there are tools that we have in place already with tariffs and other anti-dumping things that can be triggered if the Chinese misbehave. Finally, as mentioned here before, I think globally that'll help spur more development, including even investing in the United States. Allied governments like Korea and Japan have very little critical minerals or rare earths, so they have invested abroad for years with firms like JOGMEC, which is part of the Japanese government, which helps fund, and they typically take small investments, but the biggest issue we have in the United States is the upfront cost. So building a facility like MP Materials has or is already built, like we're actively in construction and you're all welcome to join, we have 900 workers on site right now, is much more expensive than building it in China for obvious reasons. We follow rules here and laws. We're investing money actually in the community. It's a holistic, it's a long-term generational asset. But overcoming that, no different than semiconductors, you need clear market signals for private capital to either come off the sidelines and finance it on its own, or in concert with the government. Once the facilities are in place, these are world-class facilities. We can compete on a global basis when the level playing field, but upfront, actually getting the capital costs actually financed has always been a challenge.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.